Hey guys, it's Chris Wong. I'm filming this video as of November 24th, 2025, and I'd like to talk about changes I made to my Wealthsimple margin account and my Wealthsimple RRSP account. So as a disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just a guy who's interested in building a portfolio and trying to achieve financial independence, retire early. So in previous videos, I talked about a margin call caused by MicroStrategy ETFs going down more than 50% in share price, and it caused my account to go into margin call. And I actually did receive some criticism, not just a couple of YouTube comments or junk mail. I also received criticism just talking about it in person, but I never let that hold me back, and I just make it a goal to continue investing and trying to achieve financial independence, retire early. In previous videos, I talked about selling shares of SH, WNTR, and even a few shares of SLTY, or even YQQQ, even selling like UTES. I actually profited by selling most of them. The only one I'm not sure if I actually profited is selling a few shares of SLTY or YQQQ. I think for those ones, I might have profited from the shares I sold just enough to try to cover the margin call. But when I was buying shares of YQQQ and SLTY over time, I was buying them when the market was up, and I couldn't predict when it was going to go back down. So I bought shares and just kept averaging them down. And when I sold shares to settle margin calls, I'm not sure if the shares I sold, if I had some shares that I sold were less than what I originally bought them for. But I also did collect dividends over the time I held on to these shares. So one of the biggest changes I made in my Wealthsimple margin account was actually selling ULTY by YieldMax. I actually had the maintenance change go up to 75%. So it did take away from my buying power to withdraw cash out of the account, and it actually did put me into a margin call. So I actually sold shares of ULTY, not 100% of it, but because I didn't want to sell it at a complete loss, I actually decided to move it towards BLOX, BLOX, and I decided to also purchase WPAY and LFGY by YieldMax. So these three funds, BLOX had a 50% margin requirement, and WPAY and LFGY had 30% margin requirement on Wealthsimple. I made a goal, whatever I sold ULTY for, I couldn't spend more money than what I originally sold it for. So let's say, for example, if I sold ULTY for $500, if I moved it to BLOX, LFGY, or WPAY, I want to make sure that I don't spend more than $500 for those ETFs. Because right now, the goal for me now, as much as I want to try to buy everything at low prices, I also want the extra buying power available to try to reduce chances of margin calls or have money to withdraw out of the account. Does this mean that I don't have a purpose for ULTY? I'm still holding on to some ULTY in my RRSP, and if ULTY has a reverse split later, I might just still end up buying more in the future. I think the maintenance changed because ULTY share price is too low. So if there's no reverse split, then I think the maintenance is going to go up to 100%. I didn't make this change mostly because of not believing in ULTY. I mostly made the change because of the margin requirement was too high, and I was already in margin call or close to margin call. So I actually want to increase my buying power. And I also wanted other ETFs that actually have a potential to go higher in share price when the market picks back up. This morning, I had an email from Wealthsimple saying my margin call balance is this much, and I got to pay it up immediately. So I made sure when I get to the account at 9:30 when the stock market opens up, I want to make sure I knew what to buy, or I want to make a decision whether to put some more money into the account. But what I found was the market went back up, so I was not in margin call at like 9:45. In my RRSP, I actually decided to sell SVOL. It used to be one of my biggest positions in my RRSP, and I actually wasn't satisfied with the total return since the April crash, and I wasn't satisfied with the monthly dividend payments not being as high as the weekly paying ETFs I have today. So I actually sold SVOL at a loss. Now, I sold at a loss in share price, but the dividends I collected over time, I'm pretty sure if I add the dividends, I still had a small profit. But I actually decided to move it towards BLOX, MAGY, WPAY, and I even added a few shares of LFGY. So overall, with the transition of ULTY to the other funds or SVOL to the other funds, I might have sold at a loss, but I actually bought other ETFs that were also down too. So mentally, I didn't feel like I lost much, but I know with investing for the rest of my life, I'm going to make the money back in my dividends, and I'm going to use my dividends to buy more shares of ETFs. In either a previous video or a video I'm working towards posting in the future, I made a comment about not wanting to buy more investments on my margin account directly. I actually am happy with the margin usage with the account right now. I know I didn't live up to my original claim about stop buying on margin, but I actually did sell some ETFs to buy different ETFs. But I also made it a goal to don't buy more just to try and max up the margin. Just buy the same dollar value just so I can keep the same margin balance to pay off. Right now I have other goals to try to pay off the margin with the dividends itself. I also have goals to fund an RESP for my son, and I'm also trying to build up my own RRSP and trying to prioritize building a joint account between me and my wife. So when I fund the other accounts, they will still go up and down with the market, but those accounts itself that I'm funding going forward, they're not going to affect my margin account directly. In the future, when I do achieve financial independence, retire early, I'm still using margin, but I'm not going to use margin to buy more ETFs within the margin account. The goal of using margin for me in the future, when I hit the goal of FIRE, is to be able to take out money out of margin, but still maintain a good ratio between equity and liabilities. I hope you guys liked the video. If you liked the video, please give me a thumbs up. Otherwise, please subscribe to my channel for future videos. Thank you guys for watching.